Okay, question 1. So we got that amplitude equals 2 and period equals 360 degrees over 2, which equals 180 degrees. So we draw a graph out. And we make sure that this is 180. This is 0. And we cut it into 4 parts. And we want an amplitude up here of 2 and down here of 2. So we know that sine so we've got x and y, we know we've got start, end, middle, and then the quarter and 3/4. Let's go to a different pen. So we know that start is 0 for sine, and it ends at 0. The middle's a 0, and this is max stroke min, and this is min stroke max. So onto our graph here, we know that it starts at a 0 point there, and it finishes 0. How do we know it finishes at 180? Because the period is 180. And we know that the middle is 0. Now because it's a positive sign, a positive number there in front, we know we go to maximum first there. So here at the quarter it's going to be a max, and then the minimum is going to be on the 3/4 here. So our graph looks like this, and like that. Just carry it on both ends and we're done. Question 2 here, we know that amplitude equals 3, not negative 3 but positive 3. We know that the period equals 360 over 4, which equals 90 degrees. So we draw our graph now. Put that as 90, 0, cut it into 4, and we know that 3 and negative 3 is our amplitude there and there. So now we go over to here to our sine. We know that the start, middle and end is 0, 0. So start is 0, end is 0, and middle 0. But because we've got a negative sign, the quarter is going to come down here, and the 3/4 is going to go up. So our graph here now looks like that. There's a bit of hair in the way. There, you get out of the way. And that is our answer. So question 3 here, we know that amplitude equals 4 and period equals 360 over this number here, 90, which equals 4 degrees. 360 divided by 90 is 4. So now we do our axis. Put that as 4. That one's 0, and then we split it into 4 equal parts. And then the amplitude is 4, so we put 4 up here. And really these graphs just all stay the same, nothing changes. So now we need to look at y equals cos x. So we know that cos x and y, we got start, end, middle, quarter and 3/4. So we know that for a cos graph it starts max min and it finishes max min. The middle's the opposite rate, min max, and then the quarter and 3/4 are 0 and 0. So if we apply that now, it's a positive cos, so therefore the start's going to be a maximum, which is up here. And of course, wherever it starts, it finishes, so the end at 4 degrees is going to be a maximum. Halfway is going to be the min-max, or minimum, here, on this side here. And then we've got a 0 at the quarter and 0 at the quarter. And therefore the graph looks like that. Perfect. This graph here is a cos, so we know that amplitude equals 10 and period equals 360 divided by 30, which is 12. Draw the axis now, so 0 to 12, so degrees, split it into 4, and then amplitude 10 and negative 10. Don't have to do too crazy. We know it's a negative cos, so therefore it's going to start at the minimum, and the minimum here is here. Wherever it starts, it finishes, so 12, because 12 is there, will be a minimum, and then halfway is going to be a maximum. Quarter and 3/4 are both zeros, so we got 1 0 there and 1 0 there. A nice little curve, no straight lines please. And just curve it round like that to finish off. Perfect. Negative 10 cos 30x. So question here, we know that amplitude equals 1, period equals 360 over 10, which equals 36 degrees. What does this mean? It's going to go 3 up at the end of the whole question. So we're going to do the graph first of all, see what it looks like. Sorry about the finger in front of the camera. So there we've got it. So we know that the amplitude is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go all the way up to 4 because I'll need to add 3 onto each one. There's negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Probably won't need those. There is the first one, 36. Cut it into 4 elements. Perfect. So first of all, we're going to do the sine graph. And we know that sine, go all the way back up here. 0, 0 and max, min, mix, min, max. So we know that, here's the graph, we know it starts at 0, finishes at 0, and the middle's a 0, and we got a maximum. So this is the graph without the +3. So just do this as a dotted line, like that. Now I can get a different colour out without making too much noise. I can do that. So now every point needs to be shifted up 3. So this one goes up 3. So we're going to count. This is why it has to be calibrated so accurately. 1, 2, 3, put a dot. 1, 2, 3, put a dot. Goes all the way up to 4. 1, 2, 3, put a dot. Negative 1 goes 1, 2, 3, goes to 2, you see. 1, 2, 3 is on the same level. And there is the graph we're looking for. Perfect. Excellent. Well done, Mr. Bat. Last question for the homework. We've got y equals 2 cos 18x, so we know that the amplitude equals 2, period equals 360 over 18, which equals 30 degrees. And this means we're going to go 2 up right at the end. Let's do the axis here. There it is. Let's put that on as 30. that on a 0 and then cut it into 4 equal parts. So we know that it goes amplitude 2, so let's put 2 in. 1, 2, 1, 2, so that's -2 and 2. And we know it's going to shift up 2, so we've got to make sure that we go all the way up to 4 here. So we know it's a positive cos, and we look at cos in here somewhere. Where is it? There it is. Starts max min. So we're going to start this graph at the maximum, which is 2. We know it finishes at the maximum, 2, and then halfway is the minimum. And then in between we've got a 0 here and a 0 here. So dotted line for this. Each point now gets shifted up 2. So this one goes all the way up to 4. The 0 point goes up to 2. The -2 goes up to 0. The 0 goes to 2, and the 2 goes to 4. And there is our wonderful little cos graph that's been shifted up 2 points. Well done, Mr. Bet, again.